Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, this is going to be my idea for a Sonic film. Now, I am going to say, before this, I am going to say, but the Walter Hamada redesigned Sonic movies were never ever Sonic movies. They were, you know, reshoots, they were studio interference, they are mismanagement, and I will never call those films Sonic films at all. And plus, I don't like, for the matter of fact, they call Sonic an alien because Sonic is supposed to be a Mobian. That is his species, and this is what I'm gonna keep for, this Sonic film is that Mobians, that the Sonic characters that were based on anthropomorphic animals are Mobians, not aliens. Alright? Get that in your head. Anyways, basically, also, we will never ever support Walter Hamada nor his Sonic redesign trilogy. Okay? That will never happen. Anyways, so this is gonna be my idea for a Sonic film. Now, before that, I want to make a disclaimer. These versions of the Sonic characters will be older versions of those characters. This is going to take the Sonic franchise to back to the routes when it was a dark, mature, and of course adult franchise. And of course, this film will be rated PG-13 or R. Anyways, so for the director of this film, I will pick Zack Snyder. For a producer, I will pick David Ayer. For a executive, I will pick Michael Bay. For a writer, I will pick Christopher McQuarrie. And I am going to say, but this version of the Sonic film is gonna take lots of scripts from the original versions of the Sonic films and of course combine them into this one epic film. Anyways, basically the way that the film is gonna start like how the original version of the Sonic film was gonna start. And it would have been the way it was, although there would have been some changes. For one, this version of the Sonic film will delve into Sonic's character more. It would have delved into his PTSD. It would have delved with how he handles, how he has, a heart to heart with his family, friends, partners, and of course his wife, Sally. This would have also delved into his history. This would have allowed Sonic to grow as a character, evolve as a character, and of course be, hopeful as a character. This would have delved into, the personal life of Sonic, what he has been through, what had happened to him in the franchise, the what had actually happened to his world, his family, his friends, his partners, something like that. Because I feel like that's something that a Sonic film should have actually explained. Also, this version of the character would be, even though he'll be dark, mature, and adult, he would have remained hopeful, honest, and respectful, just like the Sonic that you always knew. Anyways, also, the decisions that Sonic would make would automatically kind of give him, flashbacks, memories, you know, development. basically it would have reminded of who Sonic was and what he was meant to be. Um, and of course, for honorable mention, Sonic in this will be called Sonic Maurice Hedgehog because I thought "the" in his name was kind of dumb. Anyways, of course, how would Sonic, fight robotic? Well, basically in this film, Sonic would have fight robotic, and of course, most of his villains, but the way he would do it would have been very hardcore. Like he's not gonna hold back at all. And of course, afterwards, Sonic would have, in this film, he would have definitely had to, of course, end robotics life to, of course, save people, to, of course, save his loved ones, and, of course, stuff like that. How he ends robotic is not going to be directly. It's going to be like, remember how in Batman vs. Superman, how, Ben Affleck's Batman, shoots the tank at KGB's flamethrower to, of course, save Martha. This is going to be the same thing. Although this time Sonic would grab a shotgun, and of course he would have, shot at the tank twice, leaving Robotic to pass away. Now again, that might be dark, but let's face it, Sonic would have definitely been doing that because of PTSD. Just like how Superman and Zod, and of course how the characters have to do what they have to do. There's something in their mind tells them that if they don't do this, things could go not well for them. So that's why Sonic has to end robotic. Of course, he would have been friends with Tom. He would have been apologetic. He would have respect humans as humans and not as anything else. And he would have treated each species with respect. Because that is the way Sonic should be. Um, and of course, here's the thing. Sonic did this, later on in the film, he would have definitely gotten a lot of weapons. And it wouldn't be just, guns, but also it would have been, swords, all kinds of weapons, even explosives. The reason why is because this version of Sonic would have been based off of Dante, both from, I guess, the original version of Devil May Cry, and of course the one from the reboot, remake, prequel, whatever you want to call it. But that version of Dante would have been my inspiration for Sonic. And of course, Sonic would not transform into, Super Sonic or any of those forms, because actually Sonic would transform into a different species, and instead of using the Chaos Emeralds to transform into our species, he would have used a device to transform into our species. Anyway, Sonic would have, of course, get, a tactical outfit, right at the end of the film. Anyways, basically, here's the thing: Sonic would have faced off a lot of villains, stopped them, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so and basically for the end of the film, I'm not gonna tell you too much of it because I'm gonna save it for something else. But I'm gonna say for the matter of fact that at the end of the film, Sonic will be reunited with Sally, his Mobian family, and of course at the end of the film, we would have seen meteors in the sky, hinting at there might be other Mobians or other characters, other species that are now coming into Sonic's world. I mean, coming into, yeah, basically his world. Anyways, also this would have referenced, the Bayverse, and of course the Cyphers, the Ayer first, the McQuarrie first, because of the loss of the items. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. Bye.